Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I am so glad to be back with you again on another Monday night. So I'll let a few people get here. I think we have a really, really interesting topic today. So I'll give people a couple of minutes to settle in, get your tea or coffee, and grab a friend, like and share so that we can get into this conversation. And I want it to be really, really interactive because I really want to know your thoughts about this. I'm just going to get set up here on my other device while you folks are getting in here. Make sure that I am on silent. All right. So let's see, making sure that I am still. Okay, guys, I'm back. I think I lost myself for a second. So anyway, I am Dr. Terrell, your board certified family physician, speaker, author, and career coach. I help medical professionals find careers that allow them freedom, financial stability, and flexibility. You can follow me on all social media outlets at Dr. Terrellon. That's DrTerralon. You can also go to my website. I'm happy to say it's fully operational at www.drterralon.com. And you can find me on almost every Monday night on Facebook here live at 9 to 9:15 on Mondays because I'm just here happy to chat with you. So tonight I thought this would a good topic to chat about would be working from home, because a lot of us have transitioned to work from home positions and we like it. We've become comfortable with it, even in healthcare. We have discovered that we can do a lot of jobs efficiently. We can do them safely. Let's face it, a lot of us have cut down on commutes. We have been able to spend more time with our families since we've been at home. Some of us think that's a good thing, some of us not so good. But for those of us who have crazy commutes, employers also see it as a way to cut down on the number of missed days at work, especially if you are missing for sick days or other things that you normally would take off to leave the office for. Then it's been a real bonus. But now that things are getting back to normal, more people are getting vaccinated, there are some employers that have started to mandate that people get back to work in the office. And I wanted to know how you feel about that. So, and this is a hot topic because Morgan Stanley, and you guys know that Morgan Stanley is a huge bank. The CEO of Morgan Stanley basically said, okay, and this was as recently as today, that the New York workers, by Labor Day, if you are in New York City, you have to get back to work. And so that sent people in a frenzy. He mandated and basically said, if you are in New York City, you have to get back to work by Labor Day in the office. And so that got some people to talking. And, it made us really think about not just those who are working from home. It made me think about why we do what we do. So some people, it's not about just the comforts of working from home. We really need to think about things like safety. We really need to think about not just convenience, but also the why, because and is it really safe? Like, why would we go back into an office when we can do the same job more efficiently and safer at home? So I wanted to know what you guys think about that. And let me see if anybody has actually, sorry about that. I'm getting an echo here. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. And feel free to comment because I do want it to be interactive. So not only Morgan Stanley, but the CEO of Bank of America is also on the same page. Now, these are corporate jobs, but it's not just corporate jobs. I work in healthcare, and I've been fortunate to find a job where I also don't have to work in the office. And many of you know that a lot of healthcare jobs have been shifted to we're doing telemedicine visits. There are some things that we have been able to do by saying, hey, you actually don't have to bring your child in. It's actually safer if we can diagnose them at home, or we can give you a referral to go to this doctor, or we can refer you here. You don't have to come into the doctor. Thus, it's actually safer. So we have really, and it's also efficient. We've cut down on travel from city to city. And it also, think about it, we've been able to have these huge meetings, and I'm sure all of you have been in these Zoom meetings where you're able to meet from people all across the country, where you used to travel to these meetings where you'd have to take off a day from work or use a work day, be away from your family, fly and meet in another city, meet with a client, then fly back home. And you're tired, you've lost time with your family, you've exposed yourself to all types of pathogens, germs, just all sorts of things where you could have been in the safety of your home. You've saved time, you've saved money, not just yourself money, but you've saved the company money. So I want to know how you guys feel. How would you feel if your employer, you've been working from home, they've transitioned you to home, and then suddenly say, you know what, we want you back to work. And they say, well, we think that you guys need to be in a place, more because Big Brother's really watching, not because they think they can prove that productivity is going to be higher, but because they think that they want to socialize you more. So what are your thoughts? Thank you, Sonia, for watching. How are you? The other reason why I brought that is because mental health is really important. A lot of people have anxiety about returning to the office. They're just not ready yet. And the other thing is you can't really, they're saying that vaccinated people should return. Well, the one thing you can't do is ask a person if he or she is vaccinated. That's one thing you can't really do. So there's a conundrum there. So I post this question in a group, and I know it sounds like this is something that people may or may not have a choice. And one person brought up that the fact that in New York City, some of the teachers actually had to report whether they were mandated or not. So then my question is, how important is it to you? Would you risk losing your job? Would you say absolutely not? So thanks, Sonia. Sonia's my college roommate. She said, I wouldn't feel valued as an employee. And I think that's really important. So some employers are beginning to take stock because during the pandemic, there was a survey. 41% of people are actually thinking about quitting their job because they realized over the past 16 months that people have had time to reevaluate why they work, who they work for, and where they work. So they're really thinking about what's important to them. So I think that question is, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why do you do what you do? Why do you work where you work? What's your why? And that percentage is even higher among Gen Zers. They are actually willing I think it's 54% or more are willing to quit their job if they feel undervalued. They're high, they're a younger population. They are willing to take more risks, even if they don't have a plan B, because money is less important to them, but they want to feel valued. They want to feel like they're contributing to society. And there's so many other things that are more important to them in a job, like being able to spend time with family and work-life balance. So I say all that to say to you is to consider right now why you work where you work. And, to just ask you, do you feel like you're handcuffed, so to speak, to your current job? Are you happy there? And if that job were to certainly cause you to do something that wasn't in line with your values, what would you do? So this was more of a question, and maybe it was more rhetorical, but it was this conversation was really more to challenge you to think about your career choices and why you do what you do. And to say, you know what, it's okay if you suddenly discover that this is not a great fit. And if you feel like it's not a great fit, then it's okay to start making a plan, an exit plan. Start figuring out what's important to you. What are your wants and what are your priorities? And start researching what you need to do to make the next move. So I encourage you, and whatever that is, if you feel stuck, just make a list of the things that you want to do, and just do it. Do it scared, do it messy, but do it so that you don't feel stuck. And that's really all that I have for you today. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. I just thought it was just interesting that we still have some old school CEOs that are like, you must be in the office to do this job. I mean, now, absolutely, there are certain jobs that you will likely need to be in the office, but there are so many that we have discovered we can do them. We can do them remotely, or there's a hybrid situation. I think it's negotiable. And if you are a valued employee who is a high producer, then I'm sure they are willing. You should feel empowered enough to negotiate. And I saw that as a suggestion from someone. So if you are, again, a valued employee, you know that you are a high producer for your particular company, go to them, give them what's important to you. And if they don't meet your demands, then feel empowered enough to walk away and find another employer that will. Because at the end of the day, we just have one life to live, and it's important that you live it intentionally, and you live it purposefully. So I love you guys, and thank you for joining me. I want you all to be well. And if there are any comments, feel free to post them. I just really appreciate you joining me today. I do have, let's see, while we're waiting, and feel free to like and share, or if you have other comments, please, I'd love to. I don't, by no means do I have all of the answers. I just love, in fact, a couple of the recommendations I got from other colleagues, because they've gone through this. So feel free to share. And I thank you for sharing, Sonia, that you wouldn't feel valued because you're not alone. Let me see. Is there anybody else watching? Okay. All right, guys. The only other thing that I want to announce is that I'm working on my book. I actually have my proof here. It's called I Kiss Clinical Medicine Goodbye, a guide for physicians who want to pivot to a non-clinical career. But actually, there are lots of good tidbits in here for anybody who just wants to change careers, and what led me to switching gears in healthcare. I mean, basically, it's all about how things didn't quite fit, or I needed to change because I reevaluated my priorities. And I wanted to figure out how I could use my skills to fit my new priorities, which were basically my growing family. So be on the lookout. Pre-sales will be soon. Right, I just finished proofing it. This is my proof. Just looking for major errors. I'd love to get your feedback. I will have a soft launch in July, but I'll do some pre-sales before then. I'm getting things set up. So thank you all for all of your support. And thank you, Sonia. Yeah, but be on the lookout. So I'll be promoting it a little bit more and telling you more about that. But again, thank you for joining me this Monday. And I'm always happy to see you guys. If there are topics that you do want to discuss, or you think that they are career related, or they don't have to be career related, you could talk about whatever's going on in the news. I'm game. So just send me a DM. You can send me an email. You can hit me up on my website, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm there. So thank you again for your time. I'm Dr. Tara Lynn, your board certified family physician, speaker, author, and career coach. I help medical professionals find careers that allow them flexibility, freedom, and financial independence. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Dr. Tara Lynn. That's DrTerralon. And again, be on the lookout for my book. And I'm still coaching. So if you have any clients that you'd love to refer to me, I'd love to help them transition or navigate their journey. If they're considering transitioning from a career in healthcare, please refer them. And thank you, Dr. Kalani. I got a great referral from you, got a couple of leads. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for joining. So, all right, guys, I am going to sign off now. If there's nothing else, be well, like and share, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Take care.